Hi there, my name is Paddy from Halu and CliniConnect, and today I'm going to walk you through some of our new features for automated care messaging. Firstly, our two new message types, and secondly, our enhanced reporting and analytics. So as usual, after you log in, you see this screen that contains all the different templates that you've saved across your organization or your home. To take advantage of our two new message types, you can either create a completely new template or in fact you can edit existing ones so it works across either one. For the purpose of this walkthrough, I'm just going to create a new one firstly. So as you can see here, you do all the typical things when creating a message. You give it a template name so you can see and select it from the template list later. You give it a subject that people can read when they receive the message, and of course a message. So the new feature here is the message type, changing the message type. So notification with acknowledgement is the typical message you're used to sending. So it sends it over to one of your families, and at the end of the message it's got one option. It says confirm that you've read the message, and they click that one and it gets sent back to you. Now what we have is additional options. So I'll first take you through multiple choice question. So as you can see here, it's kept the subject and the message, but now I have the ability to ask an additional question. So let's just put something in for the purpose of this. And I'm able to add up to 9 choices as an answer to that question. So let's say the question was, what's your favorite number? And you can go 1, 2, so on and so forth. So it goes up to 9, as I said, which I'll just show you now. And you obviously have the ability to add in words based on the questions that you might want to ask people, but also remove them, as you wish. So here you have the ability to ask your families a range of different questions. Perhaps you want to ask what people's preference in terms of food is for a particular event you're holding, or an absolute variety of things. Of course, you'll be the experts of what kinds of questions you'd like to ask. The other feature I'd like to show you is the rating system. So it's a similar sort of function, but as you can see here, it's more of a scale, and this one is 1 to 5 instead of all the way up to 9, with a variety of questions and answers you can add. So here again, you can customize the question as you would, but bear in mind that you're asking someone to give a rating. How would you rate last Saturday's event? So here you can describe to people 1 in this scale is not so good, and all the way up to brilliant, for example. And you could fill in all these to provide a bit more context to those people as to what the numbers actually represent. So to send this out to your care community, again, you do the standard thing. You go to the to field and then you start selecting who you want this message to go out to. So let's say it's going out to this particular home, it's going out to the family contacts, and let's say for this example it's going out to everyone. Now what you'll notice here is you have the ability to open up the advanced options. So there are some standard things in here, whether it's going to priority contacts or all contacts, whether you want it to go via their preference or particular method that you've decided on the day, whether it's going to be email only. But critically, what we have here is extra attempts to get a response. So if you're interested in putting out a survey that you really need people's feedback for, then we now give you the ability to message them multiple times if they haven't yet replied. So this is going to make sure that those that have replied aren't bugged and inundated with additional messages. But if they haven't, they're given an additional nudge that you can customize, and I'll show you how to do that. So the number of extra attempts you're going to have after they don't reply. So let's say we want to be really persistent and we're going to give them 5 extra nudges, and then the minimum time between these nudges. So I want to nudge this person 5 times, but rather than in the space of a day, for instance, I'm not going to do it in minutes or hours, I want to do it across 5 days. So you're able to select and customize how frequently you want these people nudged if they haven't yet responded. But you can see there's a lot of customization available there. You can do it in minutes or hours if that's your preference, if it's something rather urgent that you need people's feedback for. Okay, so next I want to show you just a couple of other examples that I prepared earlier, a couple of different types of messages using the survey and the ratings functionality. So we'll start with move-in feedback. So you can see here just a question about the move-in process where people can answer based on the scales that we've set. And I'd like to note once again the descriptions that I've added here, where obviously people can interpret numbers in different ways. So you can just add an extra word in so it describes it a little bit better to them. And then the next event vote, which is is here, which incorporates the multiple choice question. And it does go up to 9. For this purpose, we've kept it to 5, but you can see here that we completely customize the language in each one, and you're able to give this wide range of options to your resident families. So I'd like to clarify that this goes out over voice, text, and email, so it works across all three, just like the typical messages used to. Okay, so on to the next part of this walkthrough, where I'm now going to show you our new and enhanced reporting and analytics features. As you can see, my face has moved because there will be some buttons in the top right corner I need to click, but I'll show you shortly. So from the home page, we navigate to your sent box, and here it looks very much the same, but you can notice there are some new buttons on the right hand side, job info. So let's take one of the templates we sent out earlier and take a look inside. So as you can see here, you get a detailed breakdown of how messages were sent, what time people responded to them, who they were sent to, obviously, and even some details around the message types and the attempts that they've received. So what we're able to do here is filter through how people have responded to messages, and that's very useful, especially if you send out messages across the group. Perhaps you want to filter by particular homes, or even within a home you want to look into floors and units. You're able to filter through to just check how people responded within that particular floor or that particular unit. Now, I think one really cool part of this new filter feature is that you're able to filter based on how people have responded to a particular message. So this particular template was feedback for the move-in process, so people were giving a rating from 1 to 5. So let's say I want to ask an additional question to the people who didn't find that move-in process so good. So what I'd do is I'd navigate to message answer. I would firstly unselect all of the options, and then, because it's people that didn't find the process so good, I'd select anyone that had responded very poor or poor. So here I click apply filter, and I get a summary of everyone who's responded poor or very poor. In that case, you can see it's me. So what I would do here is I select for all of the people that fit into there. As you can imagine, if it's a message that you're sending out, you probably have multiple responses, and then you're able to click send here, and what you can do is choose from obviously one of the templates that you have already, or you can click new template to craft a message specific to this individual or a group of individuals. So because we're looking into people who responded negatively, we can actually say, hey, what was the reason, for instance, why you responded negatively? Was it this? Was it that? And you're able to give them multiple choice, perhaps. Maybe you want them to go further into another rating, or perhaps you just want to send them a typical message and just say, hey, we really value your feedback, we'll improve our process next time. And it's a typical message with an acknowledgement, and at the end they click confirm. So here we have the ability to delve in a bit deeper and ask people additional questions based on how they've responded to your ratings or to your multiple choice questions. So I just want to show you the other template that we looked at earlier as well. And you can see here it was the next event vote. And within this message, I'd like to highlight the analytics feature. So this is the reason we moved my face. So the analytics button here, I click it, and you're able to get a quick summary of how people responded to this particular multiple choice question. So this is a question about what the theme for the Halloween party should be. So firstly, obviously, you see who responded and who didn't. You get a nice quick visual to summarize it for you there. And then, more importantly for the multiple choice, you get a visual for which is the most popular answer. And in here, you know, it's a winner straight away, the classic Halloween spooky party. But as you can see here, the amount of flexibility you get for sending out multiple choice questions and quickly being able to summarize what the response is absolutely brilliant. So we really look forward to seeing how you use these new features. I hope I've explained it well for you today. If you do have any additional questions, please feel free to get in touch with us at uksupport@clinicannex.com, and don't hesitate to get in touch with me as well, Paddy Gardner. Okay, thank you very much.